Welcome to a new video. Today we are taking a first look at the brand new Huawei Pura X. This is like a combination of flip and foldable phone that is turning heads with its unique design and also impressive feature set. Is this foldable really a game changer for the foldable market? Is it really creating a new category for foldable and flip phones? We have to check it out, so let's get started. Huawei really has outdone themselves with the design of the Pura X. It feels incredible premium in the hand with a solid build and sleek finish. The folding mechanism is smooth and sturdy, holding in various different angles, giving you the confidence in its durability. Let's talk about the display, or let's call it displays. First, when unfolded, you will see that it's a bit unusual with the wider kind of view that you get than a normal flip phone. With 6.3 inches, it doesn't sound like a very large display, but next to a foldable that has, in theory, with 7 inches, almost 6.9 inches, a larger display, you can see it seems to be a bit of more screen estate that you have with the Pura X. And it is perfect with the 16:10 aspect ratio to watch videos like this one, which is 16:9, to avoid too much of black bars left and right or top and bottom. And it's also perfect for multitasking, because if you just flip it around, you have enough screen estate to put two apps side by side. The outer display is also a little bit unusual. In its squarish 3.5-inch format, it seems a little bit small, but remember, 3.5 inch is something that you used probably before on smaller smartphones just a couple of years ago. This display, however, is not only for viewing some widgets or notifications, it features a full-fledged desktop and you can run applications. Not all applications, however, are adapted to this screen aspect ratio, but more and more are getting there. Under the hood, the Pura X packs the Kirin 9020, a processor that we already know from the Mate 70 Pro and Pro Plus series. It's not the most performance-wise flagship processor, but it's an adequate processor that can beat, for example, the Tensor G4 from the Google Pixel devices with ease. The performance in general is very snappy and everything feels smooth and responsive. Huawei has also made some significant improvements to the camera system. The new red maple sensor that was introduced first with the Mate series also is now in this foldable. The photos and videos I've taken look fantastic with great detail and vibrant colors, so let's take a look at them. For video it is interesting because by default it is recording in this squarish kind of format. When you have it in this flipped mode, we can go to 16:9, but it only supports up to 1080p, not 4K in this mode. So let's see how well this does. This is now recording with the Huawei Pura X using the main camera sensors here, and I'm recording with the folded with the not unfolded kind of state. So we have a limit of 1080p here. How well does it do? It has some issues with lens flare for sure here with the sun in the background, but HDR in general should not be such a huge issue. So what do you think about this one here? Probably Huawei is like doing this just like on the P50 Pocket series to preserve a little bit of battery and not let the device overheat too much. So what do you think about this one? Let's see if I can also record 4K and see myself in the flip open up state. The flipped open up state gives me a little preview, but I can also swipe to see like smileys for all those people that need this to know that there's a photo been taken from or with them. So let's check out how the recording is now with 4K. So I'm now recording with 4K 30 frames per second here on the Pura X. I was recording previously with the Mate Note X Mate 60 Pro, also running HarmonyOS 5 or HarmonyOS Next for that matter. So what do you think about this recording here? Sadly, I don't think I can zoom in or out on this front screen, so I have to go back just like on the other phone. Go to the ultra wide angle. This ultra wide angle is pretty wide, as you see here, action cam wide almost. You can see my arm there already, which is quite nice, so I can get a bit closer. This one should also have autofocus, so if I go very close there, it should be able to focus on the Mate 60 Pro there, which is quite nice. But I can also do and use the 3.5 times zoom lens here, which is quite interesting because this one only has 8 megapixels, but Huawei is probably upscaling from 6 megapixels or something like this to get a 4K video. It is not the best, as you see here. Also doesn't have really the macro capabilities, getting unsharp. There it goes. This is 5x now, 3.5x. So it has some bit of limits there for sure. The animations are quite smooth, which I really like, and I have the possibility to see myself here, which is quite nice. But the outer screen, I would like to have also 4K recording. I think the processor should be efficient enough to do this, or Huawei should allow us to do this if we want to. So what do you think about the audio quality as well? Because I'm using the internal mics recording here on the Pura X. And this is a sample with the front-facing camera, the inner front-facing camera, that can also do 4K 30 frames per second. Yeah, Sun HDR, I think it's working fine here. It is also pretty okay, I would say. It doesn't have any autofocus, so it's like mainly used for video conferencing calls and such things. What do you think about this one here? Taking a look at the photos, we don't have this issue with the lens flare effect that you saw on the front-facing camera, but also on the back-facing camera when the sun is a little bit too down. This has been done here with the 5 times, no, actually it's like the macro shot with the ultra wide angle, because you can do the ultra wide angle, you can do the main, but the 8 megapixel one doesn't have a macro capability. But it's quite good in terms of like getting the details done and having a nice background blur. I would even say maybe it switched to the main camera sensor here. Here you can see that, yeah, the lens flare effect might be of some issue. They have a little bit of haze you have going on there in the background as well, especially, but the elephant here, a little elephant there is nice. And the sharpness and detail levels is 1 or 1.5 inch size sensor. What do you expect? Is okay, but nothing too spectacular for sure. My daughter playing with her dolls in her little, what is it, kitchen, baby kitchen. You can see all the fancy instruments there, and you can go in and see like the detail level is definitely there, but it's like a little bit unsharp. It is what it is. It's not the best. This has been done with the zoom lens, 2x zoom. This is actually 3.5 times zoom, and my dog Timmy indoors. You can see this one definitely is losing a little bit because of the megapixels. This is a selfie with the front-facing camera, I think it is. And you can see like also it's losing a little bit there of detail, has a little bit of better HDR. Low light situation there, you can see some details there taken with the main camera sensor, so this is nice. But this is, yeah, here getting a bit unsharp there, but the focus was here for sure. And this has been done with the 5x zoom. Actually, you get a nice bokeh there, but if you go in here, you can see the details are not really there. So like the biggest disappointment probably is the 8 megapixel zoom, even though it's not like behaving as bad as I would expect it to be. It is still nothing to write home about and to zoom in. They should have put a better zoom lens in there. Maybe the same lens that they put for the ultra wide angle, maybe also for the zoom, and then we would have something better. Main camera sensor is good enough, I would say. Not much of a different difficulties here, also with HDR and getting shots sharp and nice and detailed. So this is something that I really like. Also the colors here are pretty good. Using the normal color profile here, this is 3.5 times zoom. You can see you get a little bit of like things in focus, but it's not the best there. This is 5 times zoom here indoors, where it's doing quite a good job. I don't see so much noise, so I think this 8 megapixel sensor has a little bit of larger pixels still, but it's not the biggest sensor for sure. And here Timmy with 5 times zoom. Yeah, you can definitely see stuff, but it's probably, it's doing a fine job for a flip phone. It's better than what I had on my P50 Pocket for sure, but it is not something that I would like to use more often when it comes to real zoom shots. This is ultra wide angle. Ultra wide angle is doing a splendid job there. I think in terms of detail levels, you can see it is not getting too unsharp also towards the edges there. It's doing a nice job, has good HDR. This is the sensor that I would like to see on the telephoto as well. So if they do a Pura X2, please do this. Otherwise, the main camera sensor, get nice details there. Because it's not the largest, you can also get some nice close-up shots there and nice background blur as well if you want to. And yeah, this is the ultra wide angle just from down below, just to see how well this is working. And this is a selfie with the selfie screen now, actually with the folded state. So using the main camera sensors, you can see much more details there. It's not over processing, it's not over sharpening. You get nice background blur. This is the one thing that I really like for this kind of form factor and phone. You can use it for selfies as a selfie master. If it would have 4K recording in this like little front facing screen, if you have folded it, it would be a perfect vlogging device for everyday traveling and so on. And yeah, this is the maximum. No, this is 20 times zoom, I think, that I had here, just to see, yeah, you can read what is there, but it's like, it has to heavily process there. So 5 times zoom is the max that I would recommend there. This is why they put it in there. 10 times is a bit of a stretch, and the more you zoom in, the worse it gets. Basically, a shot from my car, just to see details there, how it HDR handles there. It's doing quite well. And that's it in terms of my first impressions of the photos. So photos are solid, I would say, for this device, but it's definitely not competing against the slab phones, not competing against the Mate 70 Pro Plus, not competing against the Pura 70 Ultra, or even the Mate 60 Pro for that matter. Sound quality is quite awesome on the Pura X. It's definitely very loud. It is bassy on the bottom firing speaker here, and the top firing speaker is a little bit tinier. It is vibrating a little bit on the back when it's on full volume, but it's not distorting at all, and I think it sounds pretty nice. The Pura X supports 40 watts wireless charging, quick charging actually, and it also has 66 watt wired charging. And of course, we can't forget about the software. HarmonyOS Next, aka 5.0, is running the show here, and it offers a clean and intuitive user experience that every Huawei user feels familiar with. Now, it's important to understand that HarmonyOS 5.0 is a huge switch in the development of the operating system, because what Huawei has done is switching out the Android core that was still there in version 4 and previous to a new microkernel based operating system design they developed in-house. This should improve certain things like seamless cross-device connectivity and optimized performance, but it also means that natively running Android applications is not possible anymore. Huawei has built its own robust app ecosystem, but it's mainly optimized for the Chinese market, and even there all the applications feel like they're not 100% of the same feature set that the Android counterparts have. Because Huawei wants to grow its own app ecosystem, they're also not featuring like a container-based Android setup that allows you to run Android applications. But this does not stop third parties from providing such a solution to run Android applications. And there are 2 of such solutions currently available in the app gallery from Huawei, which are the DroidTong app and the Easy Abroad app. I have them both tested and installed there, and can say that with a good confidence that 80% of applications can run. Both of those containers feature a micro-G setup, which allows them to run Google Android applications within the container. I know that many people are interested in how this will work, so I will do a dedicated video where I will show you even more. But surely the fact is currently you're not able to run those Android containerized apps on the outer display, only on the bigger inner display. Applications that run in the Android container, however, have some issues with notifications. By default, they are deactivated, so you have to activate them. But even if you activate them, they don't come always on time or at all, because the Android container might have killed the application in the background. Sadly, you don't have any control over the killing process or whitelist of the Android containerized apps. You can only control the applications that are running natively on your system, which is a bit of a bummer, so notifications might be an issue with the Android container. Huawei, of course, offers its own AI kind of flavor in form of Xiaoyi Xiaoyi. What's the weather today?
Today's weather in Beijing. Temperature, high of 21 degrees centigrade, low of 8 degrees centigrade.
And it also offers something like circle to search. It's just knuckle to search here. We can knuckle to search an item and can search or save this item even as an image file. Well, what are my first impressions of the Huawei Pura X? I'm honestly impressed by its design. When unfolded, it reminds me a lot of my BlackBerry Passport that sadly died a long time ago. But this wider field of view that you get on the display helps with viewing websites. It helps also with writing, because the virtual keyboard has enough space so that typos are almost impossible with this. So it gets those old BlackBerry vibes without having the negative sides, like the BlackBerry device was a squarish kind of display. So viewing videos had a lot of black bars. Here, viewing videos is one of the best experiences, because by the 16 by 9 videos stretched out to 16 by 10 is basically practically almost no black borders that you will get. So it's very impressive. But of course, I have to spend more time to give you a full review where I can talk about the battery life, for example, give you my honest opinion about the camera system a little bit more, and can tell you about the app compatibility, especially also with Android applications. But what do you guys think? Is this really a new category in the foldable/flip market? Is this something that can compete and offer more value than a flip phone that opened up looks just like a slab phone? Or is it just something that is not useful or usable for you? Write it down in the comments. I'm happy to read all the comments, and I will probably also answer most of them as well. And of course, I will do more videos on the Huawei Pura X, just like always, with lots of camera tests, but also some software tests, because I know that you are very interested in those.